very recently finished The Second Chance Convenience Store, and here are my thoughts. So if you guys do not know, this is set to be published in June of this year. I managed to get an arc through my sister, but I actually read this in the original Korean for my translation project. If you do not know, The Second Chance Convenience Store is about a homeless man called Toko who basically lives in Seoul Station. Enter Mrs. Yom. She is a retired history teacher who happens to own a convenience store, and on her way to Busan, I believe, she realizes that she's lost her wallet. Toko looks after her wallet, gives it back to her, and as a thank you for looking after her belongings, she provides him with meals, and soon after she gives him a job, working the night shift at her convenience store. With this book, I'm not going to say there's like an overarching plot. There is a slight plot that is, I think, more defined toward the end of the book. It is more about the conversations and the interactions that Toko has with his co-workers at the convenience store and also with the customers. It is a very insightful read. It didn't have any mind-blowing passages, but I also don't think you have to have them to move a reader. But I feel like in the midst of hardcore fantasy books, this book provided me with a very, very safe haven that I could just sit down and read. It was a very quick read. I managed to get through it in about a week. The biggest takeaway I have from this book is that it has taught me to be kinder. It has taught me to be a lot more patient and to also just kind of sit and listen to others. I did originally read this in Korean, but I do think that me reading it in English did kind of clarify my thoughts on the book. So if you're looking for a different kind of read where the main character is a very, very unlikely hero, I thoroughly recommend that you give The Second Chance Convenience Store a go. But yeah, it was a nice change of pace, and there is also a sequel, but I'm not sure if that's going to be translated anytime soon. I feel like if I read it in the winter, I would have enjoyed it a lot more because to me, this book was a very cozy read, but I really think that kind of coziness would have been emphasised in the winter months. So yeah, those are my thoughts on The Second Chance Convenience Store. Let me know if you guys are going to get yourself a copy when it hits the shelves.